Hi, welcome to the TilersTools video channel. Today we're in the workshop and I'm going to explain to you how to change the blade on the Zoe saw. This is a completely different process to the one you may have watched earlier in the Picus video. So for safety purposes, obviously, please make sure that the saw is unplugged before you start to do any of the changing of the blades or working on these machines. Machine at the moment has no blade on, so what we're going to do is put a turbo blade on, which will be used for cutting porcelain and hard materials. The tools you'll need are here on the side of the saw. That's a 10mm Allen key, and then the big spanner here to undo the nut on the drive shaft. Either a 6mm Allen key, which you can use by hand, or I've put a 6mm bit in the end of my drill. I use this for speed. So to expose the blade on the Zoe, we have 4 studs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a rubber splash guard here. So what we do is we pull the splash guard off its mounting, like this. Okay, so using the power driver, we undo one, take out the stud and the nut, put them together so you don't lose them. Just position the blade up and down so that you can access each of these studs. And then you'll find the cowling completely lifts out from the back. Place that on top of the motor, and then you have access to the wheel at the back. So you'll see we've turned the saw around. That's purely for the lighting for the camera. You'll see here we've got the 2 flanges and the bolt, the nut, sorry. So I've undone the nut from the main drive shaft, and then I'll pull off the outer flange. So you'll see here on this particular machine we've got the oversized flanges. These are not standard. We put them on because they give better support to the blade when you're using a 350 blade. It stiffens the blade right up. But if you have to change these, they simply just pull off and slide on. Take the old one off, the smaller one off, and put the larger one on. Then to put the blade on, you'll see on the front of the machine the directional arrow. That indicates the way the blade is spinning. And we also use the arrow, the directional arrow, on the blade in the same way as on the cowling. So on this side of the machine, there's a hex nut there, and you put your 10mm Allen key in and you slightly spin the blade on the inside to pick up the shaft. There you go. So the blade is now locked. You've got the Allen key in the receiver on this side of the saw, and you'll see that I'm holding the Allen key and it's locking the nut there on the inside. It's a bit like putting a nut onto a bolt, really. So we take the Allen key out. That's crucial, and we'll see now that's spinning nicely. Come back to this side. You have to cut some of this out. Put the cowling back on the inside there. And we just replace the nuts and bolts. Do one that's an easy access first. And 4. Hook the rubber splash guard back on. And we're good to go. Making sure you put the tools back on the side of the saw for next time. So the key points: make sure you're unplugged. Make sure you have the right tools. Don't over tighten the blade, and make sure you put everything back in the correct position for safety.